Hi, my name is Tom and welcome to On a Student Budget. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Noontec Zoro HD2 headphones. So just a little bit of a background check on the company Noontec. Noontec is a relatively new company in terms of making headphones. And a few years back, they made quite a big splash on the headphone market with the release of the Noontec Zoro headphones that you see here. And it was such a big splash that websites such as CNET.com and even Tile over at Inner Fidelity had very high praise for this headphone. And this headphone still remains on Tile's Wall of Fame as of today. And since then, this Zoro headphone has undergone several revisions to attain its present day form. So let's see today if these Noontec Zoro 2 headphones can follow suit to its predecessor. Now before we start this review, I want to thank Noontec for sending a pair of these Zoro 2s out for review. And as always, I'm going to put a link in the description below, or several links. The first link I'm going to talk about is the Headphile link, which is my full written review of these headphones that's more comprehensive than what I can cover in this video, as well as other links to where you can find more information about these Zoro headphones. So I hope you check those links out. So the Zoro 2s come in a soft pouch drawstring bag, which is good for protecting the headphones from scratches. And taking the headphones out of the bag, you can see it comes in this very compact folded up shape, which is always an added plus because it doesn't take up much space in your bag and has a very small overall footprint. And if you look closely, the headphones come in with a detachable cable, which is the standard 3.5mm jack. It's a flat cable and it has a one button mic and remote for taking cell phone calls and managing your music. And I'm actually using this mic for recording this segment of the video using iTunes, so you can judge for yourself the adequacy of the mic. And if you look closely at the headphones themselves, you can see that it has this glossy sapphire or metallic blue kind of shimmer to it, which is very nice, and the glossy finish is actually very beautiful in person. And you can see from the headband, it's very nice, and there is steel reinforcements just at key points to give more stability and solidity to the headphones themselves. This is a close-up to the hinge for where the headphones are going to be folding up. So as with any hinge headphones, the hinges will get loosened over time, and this is always a point of weakness for any headphone with hinges. In terms of comfort, I think Noontec has done a really good job into making these Zoro 2s to be very comfortable. So they have an adjustment in the headband mechanism. The ear pads do rotate to accommodate to various different individuals. The ear pads are also made out of a special protein leather material, which is about a medium density stiffness, but it's very breathable throughout. And the ear pads are also a little bit larger and a little bit more elongated as well. So by doing this, it distributes the pressure over your ear, a larger surface area on your ear. So it just makes it a more comfortable experience. And secondly, the headband clamping force or headphone clamping force is fairly light, but despite this, it still remains fairly stable throughout. Lastly, the headband here, the cushioning is also very adequate. It prevents any hot spots from forming even after long listening sessions. In terms of isolation, the Zoro 2s are a vented design, so they're not going to completely silence the world around you. However, I think the isolation is just about average for an on-ear headphone. It's good enough to walk around the neighborhood and just enough to hear your situation, the noise around you for situational awareness and safety reasons. But they wouldn't be my first companion or my first choice if I were to be doing a lot of commuting or traveling. Now, the meat and potatoes of this review, which is the sound. These headphones, despite their outer exterior, they have a very balanced kind of sound profile. However, the bass remains punchy, exciting, and there's enough energy in the treble to give pop and contemporary modern music life and energy as well. So, starting from the bass here is very tight, it's punchy, and it reaches very low as well, and this is very surprising considering these are on-ear headphones, which a lot of the times bass is something they kind of suffer from. I think that the bass here works especially well for beat-driven music, contemporary music. In terms of actual quantity of the bass, I think the bass is actually just slightly above neutral. There's maybe about 5 dBs in terms of the bass, and the bass here is just fantastic, and I absolutely love the bass on these guys. So going into the mid-range here, the mid-range is very well proportioned compared to the bass and the treble. The mid-range remains very clear. It's warm in terms of the vocals. Going into the treble now, the treble here is a little bit more emphasized in the lower treble. The treble here has a little bit of a boost there to give it a little bit of a crispness and a little bit of excitement into music. However, I think that these headphones do suffer a little bit from veiling in the treble, a little bit of artificial character, which makes, which is not noticeable for something that's more electronic and more synthesized. You won't notice it in those genres. However, for more classical instruments with like pianos, violins, and flutes, and stringed instruments in particular, this is a little bit more noticeable, and there's a little bit of an artificial character to those kind of recordings in those kind of genres. But aside from that, the treble is fairly well extended. And the treble overall has no sibilance or any kind of harshness overall. Comparing the Zoro 2 headphones, which are about $99, with my favorite on-ear headphone at the present time, which is the Sennheiser Amperiors, which originally retailed for about $349. So there is a very substantial price gap between these two headphones, and I do think that in terms of sound, the Amperiors are a superior headphone technically overall. The bass here is faster, it's tighter, and the treble here is cleaner. It's a little bit more, it's more refined as well. However, the Amperiors were known for having a more treble forward. It's a little bit more brighter, and the mid-range is more forward as well. So this is not always everyone's cup of tea, and it can be a little fatiguing after a while. And I would personally recommend the Zoro 2s if you're just looking for a headphone, a cheap or affordable headphone that can really do it all. They have a very good balance in terms of bass, mid-range, and treble, and I find myself grabbing these headphones a lot more because of that. And they play well with a bunch of different genres. The bass hits right for me. The treble is not harsh or fatiguing. So these are just a very good all-arounder overall. Comparing the Zoro 2 headphones with the Philips Cityscape Downtowns, both of these headphones originally retail for $99 approximately. In terms of sound performance, I think that I do prefer the Zoro 2s overall because the bass here is better extended, it's more dynamic, it's tighter, it's punchier in the bass. The mid-range here is a little bit more natural sounding. The Philips has a little bit of coloration in the mids, and the treble is slightly more extended as well. And the Zoro 2s also come with a detachable cable, so if anything should happen to the cable down the line, you can always find an easy aftermarket replacement. It's just a standard 3.5mm jack. But the Philips definitely trumped the Zoros in terms of isolation and comfort. These headphones are superb for the person that's going to be commuting with these headphones a lot. They isolate very, very well. They're super comfortable as well because the ear pads are so pillowy and so cushy. So you can certainly wear these headphones all day long. And I really love them for that reason. In summary, I think that the Zoro 2 headphones are an overperformer for just slightly $100. So these are a very affordable pair of headphones. They have a really nice design. They come in a multitude of different colors, very modern, very stylish. They are an on-ear headphones, so they have a relatively small footprint on the head. They don't stick out. They also fit easily around your neck. No restriction in terms of head movements. And at the same time, they fold up. So these headphones definitely don't take up much space. They have a detachable cable as well, so if the cable does fail you over time, you can find an easy, relatively cheap aftermarket replacement. And not to leave anything out, but the sound is the best aspect of these headphones. They have a very competent, very versatile, very good all-arounder kind of sound. So I think that the Zoro 2s are what I call a budget find. So I highly recommend the Zoro 2s. So if you have any questions about these Zoro headphones, definitely hit me up in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this video and channel if it helped you guys out. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.